Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bright Founders Talk at Temy. Temy is an international software development company that designs, builds, and delivers software for sustainable businesses and promising startups. Welcome to our podcast, where we bring you the most inspiring stories of entrepreneurs and experts in the software development industry. And each week, we interview successful leaders who share their unique journeys and valuable insights. I'm your host, Barry, and today we are lucky enough to be joined by a remarkable guest, Paul Berloty, who is CEO and co-founder at Modjo. Hello, Paul. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Thank you very much for coming. We know your time is very precious, so we do appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Pleasure.
For those who don't know you, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and the company that you work at?
So I'm Paul Berloty. I'm 33 years old. I'm based in Paris, grew up in Paris. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Modjo.ai. We built an AI platform that analyzes sales interactions, such as emails, video calls, phone calls, in-person meetings. Probably tomorrow, SMS or WhatsApp messages, but not yet. So we analyze these interactions, and we do two things with this. We help customer-facing teams to be more productive with features like summary of a call, suggesting follow-up mail right after a call, and also completing their CRM for themselves. We save close to 10 hours per reps per week for our customers. And the second things we do is, because we capture all of these interactions, we have a lot of data, a lot of context about the customers of our customers. And we detect and we provide insights to leaders, such as why are they winning or losing deals against their toughest competitors? What are the main product feedbacks in this segment of market for the last 3 months, for example? So very valuable insights that they used to have, but it was subjective and manual completion within the CRM. So we have close to 500 customers all over Europe. And yes, before that, I was working as a inside sales rep, then an inside sales rep manager in a company called Doctolib, which is a pretty good company in France and a successful company in Europe now. Happy to be here.
Thank you very much. You've had quite an interesting history. What drew you to this particular field? Why? What was it? Something that you knew that you were going to be an entrepreneur like later on in your life, or was it something that you just happened upon?
First, I was so bad at school that I had nothing to lose. I ended up my scholarship. I wanted to apply for great jobs, but I didn't have the resume for that, and so I had nothing to lose. So I started my first company in Ivory Coast in Africa, because one of my cousin was there. He was working there, and he told me he opened laundromats in Abidjan, Ivory Coast. It was working pretty well, so he invited me to join. So I started there. It was an amazing experience, and I really understood that I had this. I was keen on entrepreneurship. It was something pretty interesting. Then it didn't work out that well, so this is where I joined Doctolib in the company I spoke about, and this is where I discovered the job, the account executive sales role, and this is where I discovered all the pain points that we are solving today, such as I had a great team, but the team needed to grow, and it was really hard to grow the team, help the reps to perform, because I had more and more people to manage. And the second thing is that we had a CRM called Salesforce, but it was empty. Nobody wanted to fill the CRM, but the marketing teams, the product teams, even the CEO were asking me questions about our customers. What were the main pain points? What was the reason we were losing deals against competitors? So this is where I started to suffer about these pain points, and I saw that there were companies in the US launching businesses around call transcription. I wanted to use the solution for myself, but they couldn't transcribe calls in French, neither in German. I told them I was in France, and they said, "Oh, I love France. I was in Croatia 2 weeks ago," and so I understood that they had no clue what was Europe, and so maybe that was the right time to launch this European actor, take the European markets, and it came to be a successful idea.
So you mentioned some of the facilities that you have, including like summaries, follow-up emails.
Yeah.
Which parts of the sale process does Mojo impact the most? Maybe like the prospecting stage, the closing, or the post-sale follow-up?
I would say all the entire sales cycle. I can give you an example why is Mojo being very helpful in prospection, for example. There are sales that are like a sales that is doing prospection will probably prospect one company. He probably won't be successful the first shot, but let's say he will have a call of 2 to 3 minutes with Barry. No time to take notes and so on. But it's not the right timing for Barry, so he needs to move on. But 3 months after, he needs to call back Barry. And of course, he couldn't remember what was the conversation about. It lasted for 2 minutes, but he has more than 10 conversations per day. So he couldn't remember a word. So let's call again Barry and say, hey, we spoke 2 months ago. Don't remember what we spoke about, but let's book this meeting. Now with Mojo, he will have a synthesis of a summary of the last conversation that happened 2 months ago. Hey, Barry, you told me it was not the right time because you were implementing this solution and you wanted to catch up 2 months after that. I hope you ended up implementing this solution and blah, blah, blah. So it gives you a summary of the conversation. And of course, during a sales cycle, it's pretty helpful because, and especially for complex sales cycle, there's so much information that are coming from the discovery calls, the demo calls. There's so much information, and there's not much information that ends up into the CRM, where of course sales rep can use this information to pilot their deals to increase their win rates. Mojo feels the CRM really perfectly, so they can use this information to open, for example, the demo call and ask the right question because they're pretty well prepared on what happened in the last calls. So of course, this is pretty helpful to conduct a sales cycle.
In terms of like AI, how is Mojo using AI just to go beyond like the average like call recording and actually deliver real insights to sales teams?
Yeah. Well, that's the pretty exciting phase, and also things that we are developing. It's of course we use AI to transcribe conversation, and so we don't use any API. We bought some license on the shelf, and where we train these models within our own data, so they're performing better on French, German, all the European languages. So we're better than the average solution on the market here. So these are the first things, and of course, the second things. The second pillar of our AI is using models such as LLM models like GPT, or we're also using Gemini because they released a pretty impressive version of Flash and 2.0 and so on. And so here we use the LLMs to analyze all of the text that we are generating. It's so much text when you look at a customer. For the average customer, they can make 100 calls per day. It's big amount of text that we are analyzing thanks to the LLMs. And but we are not only plugging our transcript technology to LLMs. We also are working on something I'm sure you've heard of, which is RAG technologies. So what we basically are doing is really giving more context about who is our customer, what are the products they are selling, who are their competitors, what are their main objectives during this year. More context you give, of course, better the output will be. So that's the first thing that we are doing. And the second thing is really to give context of each conversation, each interactions that ends up into Mojo. Can be, as I told you, like emails, video calls, in-person meetings. So who made this call with who, when, what stage of the sales cycle was it? What's important in this stage of the sales cycle? So giving more and more context about the interactions that Mojo captures. And all of this is supposed to, of course, increase the output of our AI.
And how does Mojo ensure that the AI recommendations it provides are actually actionable and useful and not just noise? Because when you've got so much data, I suppose it's easy just to have a lot of it being thrown at you.
The key metrics here is daily active users. So it's funny because we went from monthly active user to weekly active user when we were only a solution that could transcribe calls. But now we move to daily active users. If we assume to be a tool that helps reps to be more productive, it means that we want to become a must-have, and must-have is daily usage. They cannot do their job without it. So if that's our goal, we need to monitor daily active user. If we're not successful there, we will see it pretty fast. Like if when we do poor onboarding, when we do bad onboardings, we can monitor the week after, or sometimes the day after the onboarding, that the daily active user is not skyrocketing, and so we know. So first is, of course, have we done the right job to activate the products for our customers? Have we demoed, onboard our users well enough? And second is the product useful? Is it accurate? Are the insights that it provides after each conversation actionable? If not, users won't come back. Like exactly what happened to the CRMs. They use Salesforce, HubSpot, and so on, but they don't use it on a daily basis because it's not useful for them. I mean, if they don't see the value for themselves, they won't use it. If we're not doing good enough, they won't use our product, and we will have zero customer.
What are some exciting AI-driven features that you can talk about that you're currently working on, or you have an aspiration to achieve?
Everything around automation. So we prove to be very good at turning a call, a meeting, into a transcript. It took 4 years to be very good on this, and it's not that easy. It's not like I know there are many on the shelf solution, but it's not that easy. Like here, for example, we have a one-on-one conversation. It's easy, but the real life, it's harder. It's like Barry, you would demo your product with me, but I would use my computer. We would be three behind my computer. Who is Paul? Who is Michael? Who is Ashley, for instance? So this is speaker identification. We would speak in English, but within the room, inside the room, we would speak in French, for instance. This is the real life, and it's hard. So that's the main part. Now that we have this transcript, how can you activate this transcript into automations, into people speak about agents, and this is all the features that we are that we are currently developing. I give you an example. A very strong use case when we equip big companies. They have customer success teams, okay? They are not eager on doing sales, and they hear business opportunity within their customers all the time. That the same company, they have products that can solve this solution, okay? But the sales team, they don't hear it, and the customer success don't hear it. It's not his role, her role, to detect the opportunity and to ask discovery question and to turn this sentence into an opportunity, and in the end, revenue. For example, when we hear business signals, can be good or bad business signals, this creates a Slack automation to the account executive who owns the deal. Say, this is what happened into one of your customer, business opportunity, and jump on it, create an opportunity. And it's very, very impactful. It sounds pretty simple, hard to do, of course, but it's pretty impactful because everybody's always looking to generate more pipeline, always trying to do outbound, inbound, looking for intent. But sometimes business can be within your customers.
So in terms of GDPR compliance, because this always comes up when we're listening to customer and having customer data, how does Modjo ensure GDPR compliance when recording and analyzing customer conversations is kept safe?
So the first part is make sure that the data is hosted within Europe in a data center within Europe. In our case, it's in Germany or in France, especially in Paris. The second part is collecting the consents of your customer. So whenever you arrive on a video call or phone call that happen to be recorded by Modjo, you trust me, you will know it because we have a lot of pop-up. You will receive an email before you jump into the call. You'll see there's a page consent page, and when you're in the call, it's like here, like you know it's being recorded. So that's the very important part. I would say that the hard part about GDPR, it's more culture. It's easier to record calls in the US. It's harder in Europe, and especially for traditional companies. People don't want to be recorded. So it's all the things that we are doing aside our tech or within our tech to make people more comfortable with the recording. I can give you example. We're doing like great stuff with our partners to coach reps to use our product and to feel comfortable with the recording. And the second part is within our product, you can use Modjo. And so Modjo is really recording and transcribing calls. And with this transcription, we activate a lot of features that I spoke about. But we have customers who are using Modjo, but the recording is being deleted the second after it's being transcribed. So people feel more comfortable that the call recording is deleted. There's only the transcript. Sometimes we delete the transcript. There's only the summary and the fields in the CRM completed, and they feel more comfortable. So these are the things we're doing around GDPR.
So there are acts coming up like the EU AI Act. How is Modjo preparing for future regulations? Because if there's one thing that the EU likes, it's regulation.
Yeah. They love this. AI Act, to be honest, so we are end of April 2025. Until today, it's pretty vague. It's what I think is that they saw the generative AI come in. They say, okay, we need to do something. But it was, I don't remember the release date of AI, but it was hard to know back then all the use cases around Gen AI. So until today, it's pretty vague. What I know is that what's good for us, it's good to be European companies doing AI for European companies, because European companies feel more and more safer when they work with European companies when it's about data, collecting data, and AI, of course. So I cannot tell you precisely, but these are the trends.
How do you keep up to date with the trends? How do you make sure you're in the cutting edge of innovation? It's a really fast changing world out there.
Yeah.
So
it's hard, and it's true. Like it really feels like the world changed. Of course, AI and all the techs and around AI, but it's true that the world is moving pretty fast. We have a new competitor that's coming every week, and everybody is saying that they are doing amazing stuff, and it's pretty frightening. So first, yeah, don't worry, because with a lot of the time, competitors that speak about their amazing features, it's not there yet. So first, is calm down. And the second thing is being more and more with your customers. I try to do between 10 to 15 calls with my top customers per week. And I asking them simple questions. When there's a renewal with our customer, I don't try to sell that much. I really try to ask for the problems, what will make you very comfortable to renew in the next the renew date, which is in 6 months, and gathering some feedbacks. What's missing with Modjo? What are the frustration? And gathering some feedbacks. I think that's until today it's the key. And all the mistake I made was when I did some discovery on reading a LinkedIn post, a LinkedIn article, and all the noise around this. So stick to listen to your customers and try to design the future with them, and try to, of course, build a strategy with all the feedbacks that you're hearing. In what way are we heading? What if we can summarize what they are asking? How can we summarize in 2 points, and try to stick to a very simple thing? We're still a small company, 60 employees companies. We cannot say yes to everything. We need to be very, very focused and say no 99% of the time. Something I'm not very good at, but I'm improving. And of course, regarding all the AI innovation, we have an amazing data science team. So of course, I read a lot about AI, but they're faster than me, hopefully. And every time I read something interesting, and I send it to them, and they had the news 2 weeks before me. So I don't know how they're doing this, but so this is how we work. But I would say stick to the use case and and not the tech, but and the use case it's coming from your customers. So be with them.
Thank you for sharing everything about your company. It's been really interesting to hear that. One final question, if I may, just before we finish. What advice would you give to other bright founders, other
Mm.
entrepreneurs who are starting out for the first time, maybe from some of your experience and the lessons that you've learnt?
Yeah. So I'm not saying that what we have done is the perfect motion, but what I would say that what I saw is the thing that matters is having customers. And it's amazing to have if you're very good at product design and so on, but the things that matters is having customers so you can be with them, hear feedbacks, improve your product. And I see so many founders try to design the best products for no customer, lock themselves into their room and design a beautiful product. It's really a beautiful painting, but nobody's using it, or they are customers, but they are not paying it yet. So I would say the thing we did that was good is launching Modjo and having paying customers with no product. We really had some design screenshots, okay, and this is the product. All right, can you pay? Okay, let's go. Let's sign the contract, build the product, and improve with them.
Amazing. Thank you, Paul. I want to thank you so much again for taking time to speak with me today. It's been an
Pleasure.
absolute pleasure.
Pleasure, Barry. Thank you very much for having me.
That was Paul Berloty, CEO and co-founder of Modjo.